Okay, so this is my specific software tools video. I'm just going to start off with blading, and I use this mostly for continuity and to get rid of things that weren't really needed. You do this by just going to the blade button or simply pressing B, hovering it over the take, and then just click where you want to break up the slide. It now splits them in to a few different takes. And to be honest, this was quite easy for me because obviously you can see it's quite simple, and we actually needed to do this a lot because most of our takes at the shoot had quite a lot of surplus footage at the beginning and then that we didn't really need. And if we go back onto Arrow, in between these takes you can also add transitions, i.e. dissolves or fades, and if I take these shots as a flashback, these two, which is not in order of the film, and I go on the transitions button, and then Bloom, this is the one we used, and if you just drag that and then drop it in between and make it bigger, and then just play it. This is obviously quite a long one. I probably would have made it shorter in our film, but yeah, you get the idea. This could connote how Ethan reminisces about the positive and negative times in his life, but also shows the stereotypical ideology of the working class's affinity to crime. But if I delete this and no additional content is added, the two takes obviously still flow together. Possibly you're a bit too stereotypical with this, as some of our stereotypes could be viewed as hegemonic and therefore could detract our audience. These transitions for the flashbacks were perhaps more for a secondary audience in a lower income bracket, i.e. C1, so they could differentiate between the past and present. However, this could have been an area where we weren't challenging enough, so maybe we could have used a more understated transition to cater for a more primary sophisticated audience, but still provide evidence time lapse. For example, we could have just done a simple cut. I also used trimming to improve continuity. So if you click on the take, it goes to the end of it, there's like a curved bracket that pops up, and you can drag it to increase or decrease the take. These were used to improve the verisimilitude of our production and fixed in with the obvious conventions of our genre. This would appeal to the sophisticated audience members. However, most of our takes were quite long, so we could have perhaps made our takes shorter or cut them from different angles so they weren't just one long take of someone doing something. However, this connotes the mundanity of Ethan's life, which is a convention of our genre. And this was also quite easy for me as well. We also added titles of the names and actors and directors. If I go to this take and then go on T and then click the ones I want, I think we used the basic title because it allowed to do pretty much a lot with it. So if we just do that, and then obviously double click and type whatever you want. For example, if I put reflux in, so you've got that, and then you can change the font. For example, this one, and just highlight it to change it, or just click on it. You can drag it pretty much anywhere you want. So if we play it, it will just pop up. This is also very easy to edit when we wanted to, really. So if you just delete this by just pressing backspace, yeah, there we go. And we also used a great skill called keyframing. So I'll just undo delete, which, yeah, really helped us to keep the credits in the same place. And you do this by obviously typing in what you want, then right-clicking it. So I'll just do that, and then go on Show Video Animation. And then it opens up here. So if we just make it a bit bigger so you can see, and then if you go on the Transform All, and then put down your frames correct places, where it moves, which makes it stay in the same place. This therefore adds continuity and smoothness to it. However, because it takes such a long time for me to do, because I try to get it really accurate, I'll be here for ages trying to show you how to do it. So I'll just show you the ones we used in the production, which is just here. We use it quite frequently, just here with Nick Hayward. So obviously the shot's moving. So if you go, obviously right click, and then go show video animation, and then if you click it, you can see where these keyframes are. So yeah, this is where it's been keyframed, and it doesn't move, as I'll show you. This was definitely a weak part of mine, and I wasn't that very good at using this tool. To improve this, I probably just needed to purely just do some more practice and just practice. Furthermore, if I just go back on it, we used a lot of colour correction in editing for Ethan in the kitchen, possibly because we relied on a bit too much ambient lighting here, which could have been a mistake of ours. We could have perhaps used softbox lighting to avoid this. However, our questionnaire results did want natural lighting, so we abided by this. So, if we just click on the clip here of Ethan in the kitchen, as you can see, the colours here are quite warm, which connotes this quite a comforting tone and homeliness, which we didn't want to portray. So if you go on this and then click on the one button and then go show colour board, if you just comes up with different ways you can change it. So you can change the colour, the saturation, the exposure. So if I wanted to change it, I could go like that, which makes it. If I go on midtones, I think we turn that up quite a bit. Just put the playhead there, and then obviously you can change it, change the colours. There's different tinges, and I think we used midtones to about there, which you can see adds quite a blue tinge, but it's only subtle because obviously you don't want it to look false, and this connotes the bleakness. Saturation, and then the global, and this basically just kind of helps it blend in a little bit. I wasn't really the best at this either because I didn't really know too well what buttons meant, which means I probably needed to have a more play around and practice and watch some tutorials and things like that to gauge what the functions do. But as you can see, yeah, you've got shadows and things like that you can play around with, but obviously the most prominent ones are the colours. This was important for us for the natural lighting to create a high level of verisimilitude which would attract our audience. This colour correction worked out really good and helped and correct any footage that wasn't up to standard. Therefore, all of these technical elements are used to help outline the social issues of the working class, which is fundamental for the social realism genre. So yeah, this was a quick video showing the specific software tools we use to produce Reflux. Thank you very much. I hope you enjoy.